Round, but Guillermo Cañas defeated Tim in straight sets. Spadia, who was a runner-up to Lepenti at Indianapolis so recently, just 4 weeks ago. Spadia over Cañas in 5 sets. Good fight back from the Argentine, but he didn't have quite enough to take care of the American there. Escud over Moyer, as we've said. Xavier Malisse has gone through to the 3rd round over Cecil Mamet. Jan Kroslak, who is surprisingly effective on this surface over Paul Goldstein. And Justin Gimelstob has set up an encounter with Andre Agassi at the bottom of the draw. That's an interesting 3rd rounder. Gimelstob will not be afraid of Agassi. Agassi will probably tune him, but Gimelstob will go out there with a lot of heart. I look forward to that one already. That's got night match written all over it. He beat Vacek. In the women's singles, Dementьeva over Zuluaga in 3. Natalie Tozia went through also in 3 sets. And Jennifer Capriati is presenting us with a nice story. She's had so many personal difficulties over the years with the, well, she was found in possession of marijuana and all the rest of it in hotel rooms with dodgy guys, but she's back and she's playing well and she's balanced. And her father was watching her play against Norlander and the whole thing's come full circle for her. We'll hope to catch her next match live for you. Sugiyama and Mary Pierce winners as well. Nice little story that, Annabelle. I like that.
I like it too because, as you say, she's had so many problems to overcome and I actually really believed she was out of the game for good. I never expected her to come back with such a vengeance and she's playing great tennis and I think she's very, very comfortable with her whole life and where tennis is in that life and you know, it's great to see her winning again, it really is. Indeed.
Yeah, well, I think it's a nice story in that her coach, her newfound coach, really, Harold Solomon, is a guy who isn't just a tennis guy. You know, he has a really balanced perspective on life, really. And I think that his goal really was just to get Jennifer back enjoying tennis, enjoying life again. And whatever results she had beyond that was a bonus. And so I think you can see that she has gotten her, you know, her perspective a little bit clearer, and her tennis is benefiting. Yeah, she's been with Harold for a couple of years now. Greg Ruzetsky has a habit of changing coaches quite often. Sven Grenvold is the man in charge at the moment. Ken Matsuda on the fitness. This is Greg's draw. We're looking forward to seeing him play at 4 o'clock today live. Ruzetsky against Prinasil to play Woodruff or Christian Ruud of Norway. Good player, Ruud, on the slower surfaces particularly. You have to think Woodruff is going to come through that section. Fine performance from Ruzetsky in the 1st round against Juan Carlos Ferrero, having lost the 1st set. And also in the Ruzetsky section of the draw, this is the other bit. Magnus Larsson against Yunus El Ainaoui of Morocco. Richie Renneberg plays Todd Martin. Out of that section, on quality terms, you expect Todd Martin to come through, but I think Magnus Larsson may be the man. What do I know? All will become clear. Do we underestimate Lindsay Davenport before we have a look at her? Do we underestimate her or not? Is it just me? I mean, she's won Wimbledon and the US Open. I look at her, the way she moves, and I think it's almost clumsy still, and yet she's really a good player. Yeah, well, if you listen to what any of the players who've played her say, they say they don't expect what they get, and they're shocked as well, because she does look clumsy out there, and she is ungainly. But they say it's like rockets coming back towards them, and she never misses. They're always sort of, you know, right within the line. So perhaps we do underestimate her, and I think she's a very quiet champion. She doesn't like all the hullabaloo and the fuss. She's a very popular champion, I'll tell you that. She's very popular, and very popular with the players too. Indeed. Lindsay Davenport against Ruxandra Dragomir. That's our first action. We'll go live at 4 o'clock, of course. Chang versus Clement in just a moment. But this Davenport-Dragomir match was interesting. Ruxandra had a set and a break at New Haven on Lindsay before Lindsay responded and won 6-love in the 3rd. But this is the US Open. This was the night match last night. Davenport was on fire straight away. She took the first 5 games. We pick it up with Davenport serving for the first set and watching the action last night, Chris Bailey and Jerry Williams.
Andre Agassi is among those who've been talking about the far greater sense of drama and theatre at night here under lights. Difficult to define quite what it is that creates that, but there's no doubt it is. But, well, one reason is that there's so much, evidently, so many more people in here at night.
15.
Whereas during the day, they often tend to wander around the outside courts, and there's plenty of facilities for sitting and just having a little snack and a drink, enjoying the sunshine and watching the stars go by.
Interesting seeing Agassi play today. How many more people there were actually in this stadium than at any other time during a day match when somebody else has been playing.
Bad luck. Champion in a hurry, no question about that. 21 minutes, just that. It took her to win the opening set 6-love. And Dragomir, I thought, has got to reassess the situation here. What's she going to do? I still think she should attack. I think she's got attacking shots. I don't think she's got the weight of shot, but she's got the sort of game that can attack.
Yeah, she's really got to say to herself, okay, well, if I'm going to go down this evening, I'm going to go down by trying to do something to hurt Davenport. At the moment, she's just letting it all flood over her. So if you were to count the last set they played in New Haven was 6-love as well. Davenport's won the last 12 games against Dragomir.
And that's 7 games in a row to the defending champion, which gives her a lead of 1-0 and 1-love. We keep hearing that at home the sight of what seems a half full or half empty centre court here continues to puzzle people, so we would repeat it. I think it's a timely moment to repeat why that is. Well, for example, today they had a record crowd for one session, over 28,000 spectators. That's the biggest single session crowd they've ever had here, and yet through most of the day, not particularly when Agassi was playing, it wasn't more than half or 3/4 full. And in a minute I'll tell you why that is. It's the way they do things over here. Just at the time, so what they do is they sell as many tickets as there are seats on the centre court, which is about 25,000, something like that, plus roughly 4,000, an additional 4,000 ground passes. Bit rash, that. And so, just to end this explanation, you can have, as we had this afternoon, a record 28,000 people inside this ground, and probably no more than 14 or 15,000 actually watching the centre court because they're watching on the other courts. Hope you got that.
That's a testament, Jerry, to the quality of the fields in the men's and women's draw, that people go to the outside courts to watch matches as well, not just coming to supposedly where the best matches will be held on the stadium court.
Oh dear, it doesn't get any better, does it, for the remaining girl? No, I mean, I must think, I do think the Americans should rethink, though, the system, because it doesn't seem right. All the other Grand Slams, when you're watching them on television, wherever you are in the world, the place will be full. And then they watch the US Open and they say, what is strange, why is it half empty?
The easy thing for Davenport to do right now would be to sit back and relax, and that's the last thing she should do. It's relatively easy for her, but she needs to stay concentrated. I have a feeling there might be rather a large cheer that goes up when and if Roxana Dragomir gets her first game.
It should be now. Yes, yes. Well, that's good. Nice reception from the crowd. Nice reception from Alexander Dragomir. 2-1, 1 set to love. Davenport in the lead. Read the matter of the crowds at Grand Slam Championships. There were over 50,000 people on one day at the Australian Open in January. And having been there, I am of the view that the Australian, which 10 or 15 years ago we seriously were questioning whether it was an authentic Grand Slam any longer, I would venture the view now that the Australian Open is alongside, if not beginning to edge in front of the US Open.
Where would you say the best Grand Slam is, in your view?
I'll answer that. I need a bit of time.
Just playing too much of a waiting game, really, Roxana Dragomir. She's not really trying to do too much with the ball, just putting it down the middle, hoping that Davenport will start to make unforced errors, and Davenport's not obliging.
Davenport set and 3-1. And I need to pick my words carefully here, so I will. I believe Wimbledon to be the Rolls-Royce of the Grand Slams. I think the Australian is the open top sports car, and I think is probably the greatest fun. I think this is the biggest money and the hardest work for everybody. I think the French is somewhere in the middle of all those. So now you have to answer.
To give me some time, I need to think on that one. The way that Davenport moves nowadays is pretty speedy. That was the main problem that she had when she was playing, and she's identified that problem. She's lost the weight, and now she's pretty quick around the court. And as you can see, it makes so much difference when you're able to get to the ball in plenty of time to get yourself set, and then to hit the shot that you want to hit without having to rush it. 3 more break points for Davenport.
I suppose there's a danger that Davenport might slightly use her impetus and momentum, concentration, all those things. And what could so easily have been 4-1, a set and 4-1, in fact, is 3-2. Davenport in the lead, second set.
Davenport leads 3 games.
I suppose you want me to answer your question now.
Thank you.
I think I have a different view on this because I played at the various Grand Slams. I think you have the journalistic view. I have, I suppose, to a degree, a half journalistic and a half player point of view. I have to go with Wimbledon as the first, purely because I played there. I had some of my best moments there, and I had my best fun there. I thoroughly enjoyed the Australian because of its compactness, its player-friendly environment, and certainly the atmosphere, and also the people that were organising it. So I actually would put the Australian at number 2. And I have to say, until they changed this stadium here, I used to hate coming to New York because it really was just one big lump of metal. And when you were trying to qualify and play your first round main draws, there was smoke coming over the courts, there were planes everywhere. It was nasty. But now that it's changed, I would put the French and the US level pegging at number 3.
We're not far apart. This then, the second set could be close, it could be a competition. Quite sure what I think of that. Two points for 4-2. And the defending champion continuing to play with a simply lovely rhythm. It must be a pleasure for her and everybody watching to come and play as Wimbledon champion, as defending champion here in front of your home crowd, on a big night with a big crowd, and to play quite as sweetly as this. As a match, of course, it doesn't really grip you because you can only see one winner.
15.
She's done a very professional job this evening, Lindsay Davenport. It's a shame that we really haven't seen the qualities that Dragomir possesses on a slower court. I think she would, as she did in New Haven, test Lindsay Davenport much more than she has done this evening.
15.
More and more you get the feeling she's been intimidated by the weight of the turn of serve, because she certainly served too many double faults. 5 now. And that was a shot play without much hope, I think. And that makes it 5-2. Lindsay Davenport here, if she keeps up the pace that she started with and the intensity she's had right from the beginning, is going to win this match well inside the hour. 6-love, 5-2 score at the moment, and there's never been any time really in the whole match, just occasionally a little hint in the second set, but no realistic chance that she would lose her strong winning grip on this match. The comparatively lightweight striking of Alexander Dragomir simply hasn't been able to cope with it.
15.
Two match points, and she's standing in that position after just 45 minutes. And this will be one of the quick victories. Oh yes, what a way to finish. She finished really the way she began, not at the same shot, but like a true champion who has developed enormously as a player. Her technique, most of all her confidence, and of course, over, what, 2 or 3 years ago, her physique as well. She's now a worthy player at the very top of the game, and this evening the evidence is that she's absolutely at the top of her confidence as well.
Yeah, very straightforward against a difficult opponent in Ruxandra Dragomir. It's interesting, isn't it? You know, they may have played at New Haven last week and Davenport may have been a set and a break down, but I think, you know, this is Grand Slam tennis. She's the defending champion, and this is what players like Lindsay peak for. That's something that we saw there. Peter Fleming and Annabella Croft are with me. Lindsay has some good stuff, doesn't she? She has some good stuff. I mean, she looks like she's sort of falling over sometimes. It looks a little bit ungainly, but she gets the job done. She has an intelligent arm, doesn't she? She moves the ball around well.
Yeah, she's got great hands, she's got great anticipation, and just absolutely phenomenal ground strokes on the back of the court. And she's a damn good doubles player too, so we know she can move up the court and volley as well. But what I think she's also got is a great serve. We never talk about Lindsay's serve, but I mean, I watched it very close up at Wimbledon in that final, and it was phenomenal against Steffi Graf. And she places it really well, and she can put a lot of movement on the ball. And well, actually, I thought she served very well today. You could see, you know, how much it was troubling Ruxandra.
Yeah, you give her one free hit in mid-court and it's over, Peter.
Yeah, and the other thing about her is that, yes, she has a great serve, yes, she has great hands, but she is, you know, how do you say it? She's smart, she's a big match player, she knows what she's about. So
she does now, she's grown into it.
In a big situation, she's happy to hit a second serve out wide to the forehand, where she's not worried about taking chances, whereas most players will just spin it into the backhand because that's the safe serve. She'll go for it, and she wins a lot of big points like that, and I think that sets her apart from some of the other girls because of that.
Used to play doubles with Rob Van Hoff, her coach. He was an intelligent man and made the most of what he had, and I really believe that Lindsay's listening.
Oh, I think he's helped her enormously, yeah, I really do. You know, she's... as Peter said, I really feel with her that she's really come into her own and she's really enjoying, you know, being back up at the top of the game. You have to remember, she was out of the game for 5 weeks earlier in the year with a bad wrist injury, and she's come right back up to the top.
Look at the draw. Sorry to interrupt. Look at the draw for Lindsay Davenport. Amy Fraser, does that surprise you in the third round?
It does, because I would have thought that Natasha Zareva would have come through that one, but there you go, that's tennis for you. But I don't think Lindsay will have any problems with Amy Fraser, I really don't. And I know you've said that the pace of court doesn't have that much impact, but I think it really does help Lindsay Davenport, I have to say.
Halard Dekugis is the 9th seed, and that's who Lindsay will play in the last 16. Possibly, Emily Koshita.
She's had a phenomenal year, Halard Dekugis. I mean,
yeah,
she's almost a tour veteran, but she is just right back up there at the top.
We're getting into the business end of things here, aren't we?
You think Lindsay Davenport looks awkward. Halard Dekugis looks extremely awkward out there on the court.
Good volleyer, though.
I don't think you'd teach the strokes that she's got, would you?
Peter doesn't know about Julia Halard Dekugis.
Oh, you don't? You haven't watched her play?
I try not to, no, sorry.
Greg Ruzetsky he knows about. Greg Ruzetsky is on at 4 o'clock today against David Prunissil of Germany. They played in the French Open and Greg took care of him there. Greg went to the 4th round of the French, as a matter of fact. That was a good performance. The 9th seed, Huber against Novotna. That's coming up later on as well. Todd Martin against Richie Renneberg as well. That's an interesting one. Renneberg got a wild card. Patty Schneider against Sanchez Vicario is a women's match to watch. That's a third rounder. Peerlin against Lars Bergsmuller. Marat Safin, he was the man who benefited from Sampras's withdrawal in the first round. He's through. And Jan-Michael Gamble against Fabrice Santoro. Much, much more as well. But next up, Michael Chang, former French Open champion and a finalist at the US Open. His night match from last night against Arnaud Clément. It was a good one. We hope to see you in a couple of minutes.